Why does China need India? And why must Beijing invest deeper than ever before? Welcome to Sacred Echoes of India. In this segment, we are going to talk about why these rivals need each other right now, the deep economic and strategic ties pulling them together, and why this uneasy partnership could reshape the future of Asia and the world. India and China have spent decades walking a tightrope between rivalry and restraint. Border clashes, trade restrictions, and geopolitical posturing have defined their relationship. But now, in the shadow of global economic turmoil, collapsing supply chains, and rising Western protectionism, something is shifting. The world expects them to clash. But what if survival demands the opposite? What if China must invest in India, not by choice but by necessity? China and India combined account for nearly 40% of the global population and are among the fastest growing major economies. While often cast as competitors, current global realities, supply chain disruptions, trade shocks, are pushing them toward pragmatic partnership. Recent U.S. protectionism, including stiff tariffs, has disrupted India's export-dependent sectors, prompting New Delhi to look beyond the West. At the same time, Beijing sees in India an opportunity to diversify alliances and reaffirm its role in a multipolar world. Bilateral trade reached a record $138.5 billion in 2024, with China regaining its position as India's top trading partner. 70% of its solar equipment capacity, over 75% of lithium-ion battery and rare earth inputs. That makes Chinese exports indispensable to India's green energy and manufacturing goals. Despite Indian pushback through Atmanirbhar Bharat policies, the trade gap remains significant as the sheer volume of Chinese inputs, especially in electronics and pharmaceuticals, makes true decoupling elusive. Therefore, India needs China for affordable high-tech and green infrastructure, while China benefits from maintaining a market for its manufacturers and maintaining regional leverage. At the recent SCO summit, Prime Minister Modi and Xi emphasized regional leadership by declaring India and China as development partners, not rivals, signaling a shift toward cooperative engagement. China and India are building momentum in the global south by using platforms like SCO and BRICS to jointly shape a multipolar world, pooling capital, prioritizing digital infrastructure, and advancing renewable energy projects under a shared vision. Here's why China must invest in India and why India should cautiously welcome it. India's incentives for semiconductors, EV batteries, and solar tech align perfectly with Chinese strengths. For example, planned chip ventures aiming at 50,000 wafers per month, green hydrogen projects, and joint EV gigafactories are already drawing interest. Chinese investments in Indian startups and technology, such as Alibaba, Tencent's backing of Paytm, Zomato, and Ola, not only fuel innovation but also contribute to employment generation and the transfer of cross-border expertise. As India accelerates toward its goal of achieving 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030, Chinese solar cell and battery dominance paired with joint ventures could accelerate the transition. If local value addition rules are respected, a strategic mistrust remains from the border tensions to water politics, especially China's mega dam projects upstream on the Brahmaputra, which New Delhi views warily. India must guard against economic leverage as dependency in sensitive technology or pharmaceuticals could be weaponized during political disputes. While partnership helps address supply chain gaps, India must accelerate diversification. For example, by working with Japan and Australia through SCRI to avoid over-reliance. China and India are at a crossroads not of confrontation, but of deliberate engagement driven by shared necessity. For India, Chinese capital and expertise could fuel its next industrial leap. For China, India is a gateway to both economic stability and strategic influence. But this is a delicate marriage, one defined by pragmatism, cautious trust, and a shared vision for a rebalanced world, where old rivals become partners, shaping history together. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful videos. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.